All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are on with a special live today to just talk to the community, to share a little bit of thoughts, and yeah, just to have a conversation about the upcoming Chicago elected school board elections and the opportunity to tap into upcoming community forums. I'm Natasha, the executive director of Raise Your Hand. I'm excited to be on with Joseph Williams, the executive director of Mr. Dad's Fathers Club, who's going to join me as one of the co hosts for an upcoming community forum that's going to be held in the community, the Inglewood community, on Saturday, September 21st at 10 a.m. at Inglewood STEM High School. So we wanted to come on here. We won't be long to, just talk about the process for those families who are busy and on the go who say, hey, we don't have time for a lot of things, but, let us know when something is coming up that's important. So this is the opportunity to tap in. We have community forums. We're hosting them with you in mind. The questions that you have shared with us through community conversations, we're bringing those forward to the space and have a good overwhelming majority of candidates in District 6, 9, and 10 who will be joining us on Saturday. So we're going to get into a little bit about the process and what you can expect on Saturday and beyond through to the November elections in November on November 5th. So a little bit about me, real quick. I think y'all already know who I am. So just in terms of a personal why, and then I'll hand it over to you, Joe, is, I think the elected school board is, the most local democracy that parents, youth, neighbors can participate in to help shift the conditions in our schools, education that impacts us all, right? So being, raise your hand, being in this fight or push for the community led advocacy to have an elected school board, dates back to, I mean, shoot, about a decade now. So a great opportunity to show up in this way through the community forums, starting with 6, 9, and 10 on Saturday, and then we'll proceed with other districts in the coming months. So just check in, tell us a little bit, tell the people who you are if they don't already know you, and why the elected school board process is so important to you. You're on mute, Joe.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on today, Natasha. I really appreciate it. Um, appreciate the space again, you guys. I'm Joseph Williams, executive director of the Mr. Dad's Fathers Club, and I'll tell you, uh, man, what not only excites me, but um, what is my why and my reason why I'm here today, why am I involved with this process, why do we care? And I can simply tell you that I think for me it's always about the children, about representation for our families. One of my biggest points always is like making sure parents have a voice at the table. I think that's something that's extremely important. You got to have the people who go through these everyday situations be at that table. That's why our PACs are important. That's why the LSCs are important. And that's the reason why this elected school board is important. This is something that has never happened here in Chicago. And we now have that opportunity to have our first ever elected school board. That's a big thing here. That's a big thing. And I think it's even bigger because it shows that there's a chance now that community and parents and other folks can possibly have a voice at the table. So for parents who have always looked for an outlet and you didn't feel like you were being heard, or maybe you felt like you couldn't go here because these people didn't necessarily represent you or they didn't understand what you're going through, or whatever that reason could be. This is now an opportunity for parents to come out and vote and say, hey, we want this to be our representation. And I think it's a great moment for us, for the city of Chicago, and I think even more for parents to get out and vote, and help build what you want to see in your community. We got a lot of good candidates that are running, as you spoke about it. coming up this Saturday, which is what we on here. So if you guys are tuning in, make sure you tune in and you're sharing it because this Saturday over at Inglewood STEM, doors opening at 9:30. Raise your hand, Inglewood CAC, Teamwork Inglewood, and of course us over at the Mr. Dad's Fathers Club will be coming together. All our organizations are coming together to help host an amazing forum to provide candidates a space to talk about who they are, let parents know a little bit more about the school board and who they are. And those districts, and as Natasha said, was in 6, 9, and 10. So those are the three districts. That's the time. Inglewood STEM is the location, and it's taking place all this weekend on September 21st. So we want you guys to come out. I think it's you gotta understand and know who's running for these seats, what type of representation you want, so you don't go to the polls and punch anybody. That's what we on here. We on here to inform, educate, and talk about why it's important today. So I'm pushing it back over to T because I think in the role that Raise Your Hand has played, they've played an instrumental role with making sure parents are involved, community are involved. I've been to a few of the Zoom calls and workshops that they've had the opportunity to host to really just educate, but organize and build parents. And I think that's something that's really important in this work that we do. So I've had the opportunity to go on some of those calls and hear some of the candidates before, and I'm super grateful for them to provide that space for parents. So T, I love to know, man. I guess we know a decent amount about each other's work, but I love to know more initiatives that you guys are doing on the Raise Your Hand side to get parents involved, or some of the future things you guys are planning to do, possibly around it, something around that way. I was just would love to learn more about it because parents not only need to follow Raise Your Hand and learn more about what y'all doing, and obviously we got the event this weekend, but I think what you guys are doing leads up to the moment of the event, and we want to keep parents engaged at all times.
Yeah, no doubt. Every time we have conversations with one parent, we learn that there's another or community member who's like, school board election. I haven't heard about that. I didn't know, and that's fair. There's a recent survey of the community that says a good portion of the city, aren't yet tracking the fact that there's an upcoming school board election. And, that's new, right, for Chicago, unlike other school districts in the state and similar sized districts across the nation, majority of whom are elected, I think with the exception of New York. But this is an opportunity starting in January of 2025. Um, the Chicago Board of the Chicago Board will have its first um, election to have representation across the city, across 10 districts. So we can get into, I think we can share more in detail later, but to kind of keep it high level, so in the November election, folks will be on the ballot across districts 1 through 10 to be elected to a seat. Depending on where that person or candidate lives within their district, it's divided into a sub-district, A or B. So say someone who lives in 2A is elected, the mayor will have the opportunity to appoint someone to the board from the opposite sub-district. And so that'll be the case across those 10 districts. So there'll be 10 elected representatives and 10 appointed by the mayor for what is essentially a hybrid election, a hybrid board that'll begin in January of 2025. In addition to the 10 seats that the mayor can appoint, the mayor will also appoint the board president. So essentially, the mayor will appoint 10 plus 1.
So, and I don't want to cut you off, Natasha. So if I'm hearing it right, you're telling me that the mayor appoints 10 of those seats for the elected school board, but also an additional seat for the president.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are listening to it, right? As you guys are tuning in, I'm hoping that you really do share this live and tap in with it. But you're seeing the amount of seats that are being appointed. You're seeing the amount of seats that folks can run for right now. So, I mean, just overall, just continuing to say, bringing your voice to the table and being a part of the change. I think a lot. I think for me, when I think about just me as a parent of now 5 children in CPS. Just thinking of me as a parent, um, I think a lot about this. I think a lot about what our representation looks like when we're looking at what we need funding for our systems, for our education system. When I'm thinking about, we talk about as parents all the time about infrastructure. You got schools that's been around that still need the support help that are falling apart. Some schools still don't even have playgrounds yet. We're looking at safety, with making sure that we have folks that out there, our eyes and ears to protect our children. So many of these decisions come directly through that school board, through our elected school board. So I think this is just a very key moment for people to really, again, just like choose what you want to represent you. And preferably, I want to see some parents and some community members on the board. But that's why I think just being involved is just extremely important, because we don't have the option to talk about it later. Because we are right here in the moment, right now. We got the perfect opportunity to get out and go vote. And I'm gonna keep saying go vote, because this election is important. If you don't know enough about the candidates, come out this Saturday, because that's a chance again. This Saturday at Inglewood STEM is an opportunity to be able to come out and learn about the candidates, to see who you want to go and vote for. And that's taking place this Saturday, September 21st at 10 a.m. Oh, and last thing I'll add with that part of it is that we will also have a variety of nice refreshments for you guys. So I know White Castle even just jumped in, and they're going to be donating some breakfast to us for this particular event. And we got Raise Your Hand, a lot of other orgs that are going to donate towards this event to help make this all possible. So I'll say, um, come grab you some nice refreshments, get you some coffee, and come sit down and listen to these candidates tell you about who they are, what their plans are, and what they plan to do. Because this is a really important election for us, first time. So, and I'm thinking may even be some more surprises for you guys there, but don't quote me because I don't know just yet. Natasha, I'm gonna push it right back over to you. Far as the collaboration standpoint, well, like just being able to collaborate. I know I'm super glad to be a partner with Raise Your Hand, but I think we got some good collaborators with us. We got Inglewood Cat, Teamwork Inglewood.
I'm so about that. I'm geeked about that. That to me is just what we wanted. We definitely don't want to. I don't want to say we don't. I'll just speak in how what comes up is that we really wanted to be intentional when we host the community forums. Like we don't pretend to know how things are directly impacted in your particular district, neighborhood, local school. So for us to come, together, we're already, closely connected in other ways, but to come together for this, to have an all hands on deck approach about how we bring the decorum, how we want to welcome folks, to the questions based on the conditions. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, to have you, Cecile, her team over at Teamwork Inglewood, and of course Ms. Dyer with Inglewood CAC and her team. We're just stoked about Saturday, and looking forward to the opportunity to connect with people on this important ordeal. We're going to have voter registration on site available. So you'll be able to register if you're not already. For those of you who are currently 17 or be 18, you can register now. Even if you're not yet eligible in the general election. So we'll have that on hand. And again, it's going to be a great opportunity to hear from all of the candidates in District 6, to be also able to hear from 2 of the candidates running in District 9, and then 4 of the candidates in District 10. We'll put maybe what we'll do after this, Joe, is we'll put up a graphic with all of the confirmed candidates,
Oh, that'd be nice.
so that the community will know, and then we can cross post it on our social, to let people know what they can expect on Saturday. And I think just beyond that, people can also expect to just hear a little bit more around how they can, how they can vote. One thing I do want to say that all of us are nonprofit, small organizations. We do not oppose or endorse candidates. So folks can, expect to have a safe space to have your own preference. We don't encourage or discourage particular focus on any one candidate. So it'll be a good time.
Absolutely. I am with Natasha. Uh, Everything she said, I agree with that 100%. Hey, I think also, um, y'all just need to come out. But also, I think it may be a possible raffle. I just got some tickets in for the football classic. Maybe we can raffle off a pair of football classic tickets actually. So I think that'd be something cool to do. So yeah, I would even offer that up in the air for just in case if you chose to do a raffle. Just in case if you choose to, I think that'd be something that I think I can offer up in the air for it. But yeah, I think this weekend is gonna be on and popping, y'all. If you enjoy spaces like this, of you about education, your children education, and you about your community, and you want to finally see more progress and things happen, I think this is going to be a space for something like that. To have your voice be heard, to hear from folks who are letting you know what they plan to do as your representative, and to see other great work that organizations are doing. As Natasha talked about, it will be some tables there so you guys can learn more about some of our work and how you can get involved. It's gonna be a nice Saturday. It's gonna be a really great Saturday, honestly. I'm excited about it, but yeah, I think it's gonna be really nice. So I would say, come out, share this, let other people know, share this live video here, and let other people know. And I'm going to share it today a few times, but I think this is very monumental to what's to come for Chicago, you guys. And I want you guys to be involved with it, or I would not be on here talking. I think this is just a very important election, and I mean, there's so many pieces.
Oh, I think we met lost Joseph there, as does happen with technology. All good. I think he was sharing some final thoughts. Until he's able to join us, I can share. Yeah, the link is in the chat to register to join us. Registration or sign up at the door is available. Um, all families welcome, fully accessible, CTA stops nearby, free parking. Closest, we'll have some folks out to greet you in the parking lot to share the closest parking area to the doors. We have a good handle on the logistics. So, again, it'll be a good time for you to come out and join us on Saturday, September 21st at 10 a.m. Doors open at 9:30. We'll be at Inglewood STEM. And again, the link to register to join us is in the chat. Sign up is available at the door. And I see Joseph is back.
Yes, yes, I'm back with no
Okay,
camera this time. My my laptop
no
just cut off.
problem.
Yeah, but no, no. So I think we are on the same page. We saying the same thing. And being the first time, this really is history, and it really is something that's really important. And all I can think about is like serving on a school board, on a local school council, and serving on that school board and seeing what that was like to have that experience over at Beasley, and to see as parents us come together to get a multi-million-dollar playground built. Or you jump over to Lindblom, where I've had the opportunity to serve with you on PAC. We see that we can send parents out to educational workshops and get them that breath and that refresher to come back and be good leaders in a baby school or whatever you want to name. Like just being able to be a part of that, it really um, has really had a lot of growth since the time. Like even this year, a lot of folks were running for the election, which I thought was super super cool. And we just got to keep it going. Like even those parents who all ran LSCs need to come together and create them some packs. Same way they would come out and vote for the local school council advisory board, and they group up and they come up with these packs. It's important that LSCs tap in with this as well, because this is not just going to be on parents, but it's going to be on our leadership at these schools as well to come out, learn about these forums, learn about these candidates, get the word out to they parents and community and let them know. And we got to make this all work together, because this really is going to be an important election, and it's going to make decisions that deals with funding and every piece of how CPS almost works when it comes to our children. So if you want to be involved, I'll say this Saturday is just a stepping stone to you coming out and being involved and really seeing what that looks like, what the process looks like, and learn a little bit more about the elected school board, because there's been some years fought to get this, and now it's finally happening.
Yeah, just hearing you say that, just so much, when we talk to parents and caregivers, like, there's been a lot of board decisions that have happened over the years that have, really shifted the conditions, um, and not always good. There's a lot of harm that's been done, based off board decisions across the decades. So again, just really underscoring what you've already shared, that this is an opportunity to have your voice heard, let the folks know who will be making decisions about the curriculum, the safety needs, the career technical education, the community having access to schools, special education. We're in consideration of all the areas that we know that you value as parents and community, as youth. So it's going to be exciting. I'm also excited as we move to wrap up. I'm excited to share that we're going to have a brief grounding before we get started with the candidate forum, and we'll have a CPS senior Caitlin will be on with us to help provide a grounding into the space. It's always good to start with our young people, kind of the mindset that nothing about them without them, as they live this experience in their classrooms and hallways. And then we'll have a few educators who will speak from a principal's perspective. And then we'll have one of the OGs who's been at the I would say at the fight, at the beginning of the fight, to help get the referendum, the ballot, the legislature passed to get us to an elected school board. Will give us a brief grounding into the space before we get into the agenda. I'm excited about our moderators. We'll have Jamaica Ponder from CBS2, and Gerald Morrow, retired CPS principal, as our co-moderator for the day. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Joe, you want to take us out with closing remarks?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot to say, but see y'all this Saturday. I hope you guys out there this Saturday, because it's gonna be big and it's gonna be nice, and I want you guys to just take advantage of that opportunity. There's a lot on the line, and we cannot complain, and we're not going to do anything about it. So I would simply say, come out there as community leaders, as organizations, as parents, and join us this Saturday right at Inglewood STEM. So we are right there at the beacon of it, at the heart where children go to school at. It shows you the intentionality with why we chose the space and the community that we're in, the districts that are in that area that we're representing. The whole thing is right there in front of you, and all you got to do is just come out and learn more about it and see what's happening. So we just excited to see y'all this weekend, and I'm super grateful again for this space, Natasha, and to be able to be on here with you guys. But something I say with my fathers, and my slogan at Mr. Dad's is, kids need their dads and dads need their kids. I think it's the same way right here. It's the same exact way right here. Our children need us, and we need them. So when we understand that, we understand the importance of that, we know that we got to invest. We got to invest into our babies, and investing means learning. It means educating ourselves as parents and community leaders to make sure that we are making the best decisions for our babies. Thank you again for the space, T. And that's all I got. And I would say, if you want to know more about Mr. Dad's Fathers Club, you can volunteer. You can sign up for tickets and good stuff and all that stuff by going simply to our website at MrDadsFathersClub.com, and you can visit us on all social media platforms at Mr. Dad's Fathers Club.